TRW here with the game is Stars and Bars, the Wargamer magazine number 30. Stars and Bars right there. Vance Phone Boreas, Battle of Perryville. There, Perryville. It is the second game turn, 5 a.m. on 8th of October, should be 8th of October. So here's the Union unit organization chart, Confederate unit organization chart. This is especially important. Not only does it obviously show you all units and give you the setup hexes, but it also gives you the release times, because even groups that are on the map are released at different times, unless of course they're attacked. And then of course it shows reinforcements. So yeah, so the Union have an at start section, and then it tells you when each group is released. 3 a.m. is the start of the game. 5 a.m. is the next turn. Yeah. And then release 8 a.m. And then we have special use, see a rules section. Then we have reinforcements and where they come in normally. The turn they come in, I should say the time that they come in the place. And then the same for the Confederates. Confederates have a bunch of at start units that are released 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just a few reinforcements for them. Then they have special reinforcement. This group, 6 units, is received only if the Union player accepts his special reinforcement at 12 a.m. There it is. Oh, I missed that. So the Union player has a special reinforcements too. Union player has the option of weather to receive this group only on the 12 a.m. turn. And the 12 a.m. turn is halfway through the game. The game starts at 3 a.m. and goes till 8 p.m. Or 19 turns. If he chooses to receive it, the Confederate player receives Withers Division. That's Withers Division down there. 6 units at 1:30 p.m. That's 1:30 p.m. on Harrodsburg Pike, which is right there. Harrodsburg Pike. If the Union player chooses not to receive this special reinforcements package at 12 a.m., this group never arrives, and neither does the Confederate Withers Division. Okay, so I'm going to be referring to this regularly to figure out who's released, not to mention the obvious, what reinforcements are available and where they come on. Okay. Flip side, not including this section right here. These are the game charts and tables. So we have a Stars and Bars combat results table, 1d6 with odds columns. We have a bombardment table, 1d6, total cross-reference with total bombardment strength. Reorganization table, 1d6, keyed to either no headquarters in range, near a headquarters, or within range of a headquarters and with a headquarters. And this is to recover disruption levels. So in this game you have permanent losses, you have 1 and 2, etc. Then in addition you have these disorganization levels, disruption levels. So you can have disruption 1, 2, etc. The disruption levels may be recovered. Of course, permanent losses are not. So the red losses, which are disruption, may be recovered according to a die roll. Then we have cavalry withdrawal table, 1d6 keyed to type of unit the cavalry is withdrawing away from. So it's away from another cavalry unit, away from an infantry unit, or away from an artillery or untrained unit. Optional rules table, which I'm going to play with both of these. You have untrained unit advance table. So basically, I think only I've only seen Union units of this sort. Let me see. Is that one? Nope. Where are they? Untrained units. There we go. Very hard to see. Very unfortunate. Black writing on dark blue chits. They should have, of course, went with lighter writing or lighter blue chits. But you can clearly, at this close distance, you can clearly see that the unit values at the bottom are underlined. That indicates an untrained unit. For the most part, which is something I like about von Borries' design that I've seen so far, is that for the most part, if you have a game element, such as untrained units, that generally means one, maybe two specific things. So in this game, pretty much the only thing an untrained unit means is that when you go to advance after combat, it's not player choice like normal. You're rolling on this table, and you're either 50% chance that it must advance, 50% chance that it may not advance. This table is used each time an untrained unit has the opportunity to advance after combat. And that's pretty much what untrained means. Then we have Union Initiative table. Basically, what this means is basically, let's see, each turn, basically each turn the Union player is going to roll a d6 at the start of his player turn, and one of the core, or no effect. So maybe one of the core will be significantly limited in movement. Again, this is nice about von Borries' designs. I think this basically means combat units are limited, I think, to 1 hex movement, and that's it. They can still combat and everything, but combat units, I think, are limited to one hex movement for that unit. Oh yeah, starting on the game turn immediately following the first combat. We've had the first combat right here, right there. So now we're starting with the Union Command Initiative rule. It is an optional rule, but I don't see why you wouldn't play with it. So units can only move 1 hex. A unit may move 2 hexes if it begins the turn stacked with the headquarters. Core headquarters itself can, of course, move 2 hexes. Cavalry supply, convoy, and detachments are not affected. Okay, so basically infantry 1 hex, headquarters or units stacked with the headquarters 2 hexes, and the rest unaffected. Okay. So those are the charts and tables. Very succinct rules, fairly good, as I would expect from the designer. But it's really, I mean, if that's a half a page, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really 5.5 pages, which includes about a half page of optional rules. It's as usual, as with the designer, it's very just succinct, right? You have movement, and by the way, there's nothing unusual. I would say there's nothing unusual about movement except for we have, as the designer, I think, or as far as I can tell, the designer likes to do this, and I like that he does it. You have a limbered artillery that has all movement and no combat capability, and then you have the same unit, flip it over, and it's in battery or unlimbered, and it has all combat capability and no movement capability. And this, all of the artillery units that I've seen so far have a movement allowance of 6, right there, lower right, and it costs 2 movement points. There are 6 in the lower right. It costs 2 movement points to change formation, and you can do as many times as you have movement points available. And so what's nice about that is that you can stay. Let me see. You can stay. You can stay. Let's see here. You can stay limbered, and you can move the full 6 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even more along roads. Or you can be, unlimbered, spend 2 to go limbered, to move 1, 2 hexes, and then unlimber again, all in the same turn. So there's no limitation of one or the other per turn. That's basically movement. Zones of control. There are some little details about 0 strength units. That's true, but that's pretty much it. That you got to pay close attention to that. Combat. I don't think there's anything unusual at all about combat except here you have your disruption losses, like D1, D2, versus your strength point losses or permanent losses are the E1, E1, E2, E2. So you have your permanent and temporary losses. I wouldn't say there's much beyond that. Artillery bombardment out to 2 or 3 hexes. Reorganization, again, that's recovering those disruption losses, those disruption levels, detachments, how to win, and then just a handful. How many optional rules? You have advance after combat untrained units. That's that table I was talking about. I'm actually absolutely going to use that. There's Confederate artillery batteries, as opposed to battalions. I'm going to play with that. I don't know why I wouldn't. There, yep. So there are NATO symbol, including size, unit size symbols. So we have a Confederate artillery battalion and a Confederate artillery company. Easier to see, strength 1 for the company, strength 3 for the battalion. But there are special rules for the Confederate artillery battery there. Company size, battery size. Sill's division. While it is not the intention of this game to investigate the strategic uncertainties prevalent at Perryville, this rule introduces one important aspect. This division, which was actually at Perryville 2 days after the battle. Okay, that's the whole Withers division situation. Yeah, that's the optional reinforcement that we talked about. Okay, and then so that's the third special rule, optional rule. Then you have 4 Union Command Initiative. We already talked about that, rolling on the table. We have E Command Control, which is what again? Under the normal rules, any headquarters may assist any unit in reorganization. With this optional rule, a unit may be aided in reorganization only by its own corps or divisional headquarters. Of course, I'll play with that. Yeah. Oh, and then one more, Confederate Force March. Actually, I'll play with that too, especially since it's only a 1 per game effect. But basically 1 time per game, a Confederate player can double the movement allowance of Confederate infantry units. Yeah. This allows all. I was trying to figure out how many. No, this is This allows all Confederate infantry units to double their movement allowance, given a few particulars. Okay, given a few restrictions. Okay. Oh, in addition to the game, I have my staff ride handbook for the Battle of Perryville from the Combat Studies Institute Press, which I like to have with me as I look at the game and as I play the game. This has a lot of interesting stuff, so as you might imagine, but some of the things that I like to do is I like to compare orders of battle for war games, and of course the maps. So these were the final positions, right? So here's the final positions at 12 and 2000. Yeah, that's 8. So the first thing is the time corresponds. This game ends at 8 p.m. or 2000 hours, and this map 11 final positions 2000. Von Boreas is so good with his military history, translating military history to games. So there's no I don't see a north-seeking arrow on the map, but I am sure that it goes like that. So here's Perryville. There's Perryville. Here's the river, Chapin River, and wait, Chapin or Chaplin? Okay, Chaplin River, right there, Chaplin River, and there's the Chaplin River right there, right here. Going along here, the one that goes through Perryville, right, and then all the roads, Harrodsburg Pike right there, which is right there. Danville Pike right there, Danville Pike. What's that? Mitchellsburg Road. Oh, that's funny. It's Middleburg Pike on here. Mitchellsburg Road. Okay, huh. Well, Mackville Pike, right there, Mackville Pike, going from Perryville up to, as a matter of fact, let's look for some of the, landmarks. We have this big intersection here, which is the intersection of the Barton Road? Benton Road. Which is right there. Benton Road. So Perryville, Mackville Pike. So that intersection right there is that intersection right there. Let me see if there's on the map we have schoolhouse. I don't see a schoolhouse on the map here. Widow Gibson, I don't see there. The stone wall, I don't see that. Toll House, Edwards. So sometimes you have like differences, like variations, like this road coming out of Perryville here is the Springfield Pike, which goes, that would be west. Is that named? Yeah, Springfield Pike, yeah. There's a Springfield Pike that goes here, and it continues off the map there. And so here they have what they call a toll house here. Is, looks like Edwards, maybe that was a farm or something, but I think Edwards is probably, let's see, the toll house, perhaps. And then we have the Lebanon Pike. So Lebanon Pike comes south out of Perryville and then goes southwest, and there it is right there. Where is it? Lebanon Pike is listed up here off the camera, but this is Lebanon Pike, right? Here's another toll house. Hope's Creek. Now the creeks aren't, okay, the creeks aren't named on the map. But it does have Bragg down here at the Crawford House, which is right here, which is where his headquarters is. Crawford House right there, named. And in game terms, that is where the Confederate headquarters is. Doctors Creek. Doctors Creek right there. Okay, I guess there is a major creek named right there. Doctors Creek. That is right here. Right here. Comes off of here. Goes up here. Where's the name? I saw the name earlier. Doctor's Branch. Actually, they call it Doctor's Branch on here. I'm assuming Doctor's Branch is Doctor's Branch on the map is Doctor's Creek on the map here. So, anyways, that's always fun to do, especially when stuff, corresponds. I guess it can get frustrating when there's one thing after another that doesn't, but Von Boris I would definitely expect to get things very, very accurate, certainly in game terms at least. And the other fun thing I like to do is to compare a good order of battle to what's presented in the game. So I can find. Oops, that's still the Union. Go to the Army of the Mississippi order of battle. Bragg and Anderson's division. Anderson is right here. Anderson right there. Buckner's division. Buckner is... Here's Buckner. I already moved Buckner up here. Wheeler's cavalry. Okay, let's go with Wheeler's cavalry. Where's Wheeler's cavalry? So here I'll show on the large, level. Got the left wing. Again, Anderson's division, Buckner's division, and Wheeler's cavalry brigade. There's Wheeler's cavalry brigade broken down into more detail. And so, where are 1st and 3rd Alabama? So here's an example of what I like to do. So here, Von Boris has combined the 1st and 3rd. It says 1 plus. That's really, really tiny writing. That's really tiny, but it says 1 plus 3 Alabama. All right, cavalry. I would say that's regiment sized. And in fact, I'll even leave that. And what do you know? There, right there. Colonel Joseph Wheeler, 1st Alabama, 3rd Alabama. Underneath you have 2nd Georgia. I think that's 2nd Georgia. There it is. 2nd Georgia, right there. 5 companies, Major C.A. Whaley. Now I know that sometimes, especially when the game designer does really good research and finds out, a really legitimate reason to combine some of these really small units to make, good game size unit. I mean, Von Boris combined the 1st and 3rd Alabama there, right there, to make a 1-1-7 unit. So 1 attack, 1 defense, 7 movement allowance. All right, stars and bars.